Well, that is a way to wake up in the morning. Morning, everyone. This morning is my 50th consecutive morning routine since the start of the year, and I'm filming this from start to finish to show you exactly what I do, which includes looking like shit in the morning. So I don't set my alarm, I just wake up whenever my body wakes up, because I don't have to. I work for myself, and I'll show you in the next clip what I'm going to get up to, but I'm going to get my ass up, go downstairs and get some water, and I'm going to go for a walk. See you in a minute. Hello everyone, you're in Hugh's kitchen right now. I've just come downstairs to get hydrated. It's one of the first things that I do. I have a glass of water next to my side when I get up, so I've started drinking this already. I'm out of lemons. I usually chuck a lemon in there. Not a whole lemon, just a slice. But I've run out, so I'm on the limes at the moment, so I'm just finishing this up. So this glass as well, maybe you can see it's quite a big glass. I think it's more like 700 mils. It's a bit bigger than a pint, or maybe like 600 mils, but bigger than a pint glass. So I make sure I drink just over a pint of water, and then I get some greens. And this from some research that I did, I've just realised I don't really know off the top of my head like all the benefits of this, so I'm not going to pretend to reel them off here. But I read that having wheatgrass in the morning and in the evening is really good for you. It alkalizes the body, which counteracts all the acid that you put in from stuff like excessive carbohydrates and sugar and alcohol, stuff like that. So I was looking for a wheatgrass product, and I came across this online. It's let's have a look. I got on eBay. It's Harvest Moon Superfoods, and they have a 250 gram super green mix. And you can see, I don't know actually if you'll be able to, I think it's a bit too small, but they recommend, well, no, they recommend, they're saying on here it comprises of not just wheatgrass powder, that's 20% of it, it's 30% organic hemp protein powder, 20% organic wheatgrass powder, 20% organic barley grass powder, 10% organic spirulina powder, 10% organic chlorella powder, and 10% organic pea protein powder. So this one contained amino acids for training and other vitamins and minerals. Whilst I was reading through it a few months ago when I bought this pack, yeah, it just ticked all the boxes that I wanted, so I went for that. So I have a glass of water, glass of the green stuff, and then I get on with my walk. So I'll see you in the next one. Okay. So quick tip, if any of you actually do this or you're thinking of doing the wheatgrass, don't put your teaspoon straight into the glass and then put the water, it gets all stuck at the bottom. So one of Hugh's top tips, chuck in the water first, or at least, you know, a little bit. I usually put like half. I put half a teaspoon in the morning, half a teaspoon for the afternoon. Give it a mixeroo. Top her up. Bob's your uncle. Lou actually she really doesn't like this stuff that much, so she has, I haven't got one, but like a much smaller glass, probably about half of this, but I actually quite like it, and the more I have it, the more I think I've start to enjoy it, and it's just normal now for me. But I don't think it smells, well, okay, it doesn't smell great, but I don't mind it. I just get on with it. But bottoms up, everyone. Holy shit, that's cold. What we're looking at outside. Okay, -1 outside today in sunny England. Looks pretty nice out there actually. Blue sky, a bit frosty. I actually quite like that, it makes you feel alive. Yeah, it's cold as hell when you actually start walking, but when you're actually halfway through the hill and because the hill's quite steep as well, you get a good sweat on. I just find I prefer exercising when it's just a little bit chilly, and then when you get back in the house, I've got the heater on right now. By the time I get back, it's nice and toasty, and then I can get cracking with the rest of my routine. So I'm going to finish up the rest of this and then get my jacket and hat and gloves on, and I'll take you out on a walk. Hey everyone, I'm out on my walk. I'm just out going towards a local hill. I'm just put my glove on, sorry, so the crappy camera angles. There we go. This walk takes me about 40 minutes to do. It's just under a mile, but it's a couple of 100 meters of elevation, and gets the body pumped up and awake. By the way, aside, I totally understand why people do selfie sticks now, because actually like holding my arm out like that is quite annoying. I think they're quite easy to. I'm gonna admit this. I think I'm gonna get a selfie stick just because how much easier it is. And on a second unrelated note, what do you think of the beard? Got it trimmed yesterday. Taken a load off. I think it looks a lot better than what it was. It was a bit of a mess, so I've given it a tidy up. But anyway, back on point. Morning routine is for me. It's really important to get moving in the morning. I told you recently on a video that I've been injured, so I'm unable to do running at the moment, which I would sometimes replace with this with walk. I try and run just a couple of times a week. I don't go too hard on it because it kind of knackers up my joints and the rest of the weight training that I do. But walking, there's no excuse for me not to walk every single day. So sometimes I will run it in the morning and then walk later on in the evening just to kind of loosen up a little bit, and I'll walk with Lou. But every morning I walk on my own now. So whatever you choose to do, it's kind of up to you. Some people don't exercise in the afternoon or weight train, so you might want to decide to get your weight training done and dusted, or your run done and dusted, or your yoga class, or whatever it is. But I think it's important to make exercise, or at the very least movement, part of your morning routine when you get started. Now I'm lucky, I work for myself. My morning routine takes a couple of hours. But if you're not as fortunate as that, because walking will take a little bit longer to get the same benefits, that's why I prefer running just a slower jog, even 15 minutes. You don't have to do a lot, you can just do a couple of miles to get you warmed up and ready for the morning. It makes a huge difference. Or alternatively, you can walk to work. So I lived just over 2 miles when I worked at PGL, and you can walk in instead, and that can be your movement. So you can take care of everything's business at home, walk in, or even biking. That's another reason. I biked in one time for a period of when I worked about 7 miles away, so commute is under 10 miles realistically, but don't knock it until you try it. Commuting is not, by bike or walking is a great way to start the day, and I would still be doing it now if I had one of those jobs. So let's go back to the walk. I do stick the headset on, and I use this time to do a little bit of the learning as well. So there are podcasts that I listen to. There's a Tim Ferriss show, James Altucher's show, the Achieve Your Goals podcast, Spartan Up podcast, Barbell Shrugged. So really it's whatever I'm into. I'll have a look and see what the topic is of the week, what they're talking about, to make my call. Looking for one between half an hour and an hour really. And again, this walk takes about 40 of that. When I get back, because of my injury, I've got some physio to do, so I do my physio, listen to the podcast, and just to kind of finish up my movement side of the morning. If there isn't any podcast on I can't learn from, I might actually watch a YouTube video and look for the same thing, just a video that I want to improve on. in some way, shape or form. Okay, so just starting to get in the hill climb. I'll stop this video now to get out of breath, and I'll tune back in when we're near the top. See you shortly. See you shortly. Okay, approaching the top right now. I was cold before I got out, not anymore. That was good. Got the heart going. You can probably see from the background here, it is beautiful this morning. So I've hit the top. This is a local hill to my house, and you see the sun shining in my face now. It's I'm a little bit late today actually. There's one thing that dawned on me when I was walking up. I haven't talked about what time I wake up. I do get up naturally. I don't make myself get up at a certain time by alarm, but it's normally between 6:30 is probably about the earliest. I'd say about 7:30 is about the latest. Today is more towards kind of 6:15, so in the late end of that. I had a bit of a later night, with late work, and I get to bed, for those interested, usually around 10, but last night I got to bed like 10:30, so I might dropped off around 11. But when I get to the top of this hill, I walk down here and just have a look at the countryside. Not that it's like an unbelievable view or anything, but this is where the sun comes up, so sometimes I catch it just as it's coming up, but a little bit late on this one. It's in full steam, but probably won't do it justice. No, not at all. You have to take my word for it, but it's just totally blue, beautiful blue sky. Sun is shining. So I can see, I don't think you can see, the frost is breaking now, and just stay there for a couple of moments and just catch my breath, have a little think about it, take it in, no rush, and start my walk back down again. Continue to listen to my motivational stuff, and if it runs out at this point, then I'll turn it off and just be with myself down the hill. So I'll see you guys at the bottom. This is that awkward moment when I'm taking my glove off and trying to press the stop button. Awkwardness over. Hey everyone, just got back from the walk and I've just come back into the front room now, where I'm going to do my physio. That probably didn't help, but there we go. I've finished my walk, 40 minutes, come back in, wiped the snot from my nose. I took the recycling out, and now I'm ready just to finish off the physiotherapy side. Otherwise I would just crack on and get into the meditation, but this does take me about 15-20 minutes. I'm not going to show you all of it. I'm just going to do some of the exercises, and I will show you what I do next. So the first one, I have to do this. So I do this this move 3 times a day. Like that. I lift my knee up to 90 degrees. I then slowly bring it down to my opposite side and hold it there for 3 to 5 seconds, and then I just repeat that process 20 times. I'll be honest, I hate doing this. It's boring. I don't feel like it's doing anything, but I'm just following the physio's advice, backing them, trusting them, and seeing if it helps my side. This movement is supposed to stretch my mid to lower back out, which she feels might be playing a part in my side pain. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys and go through the whole thing. I've done just 3 there, so I will catch you up with the next exercise. Okay, just finished the 20 movements there, 20 reps. Now I'm going to set up my next exercise, which I do on the kitchen counter. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let's try it. I have to sit like a sulky teen and purposely let my back roll over, lean back ever so slightly, and then kick my leg out. Alternate legs like this for 30 seconds. You can see from the camera there, you can't really see what's going on, but I'm in the middle of a set, so you're doing this with me, alright? There's no way around it. I feel this one's better, even if it's just for like warming your legs up as well. It does feel really good. Okay. I'll have to do that for 30 seconds. Sorry to cut you off there. Yeah, I've got to do that for 30 seconds, and I do that 4 times, so I've got to rest a minute in between. So the rest of minutes I get my coffee prepped to move on to all the meditation. So I've got 3 exercises in total. This is the second one. I'm going to just start my coffee and finish up, and I'll show you my 3rd exercise before my meditation. Hello, back to the shitty, shady angle again. But this is my 3rd and final exercise. I'm just doing it in here because it's easier to show you, although you can't really see me. I sit up straight, I cross my arms, and then slowly turn to the left and bring it back. This is my final exercise. Don't have to hold it, this one isn't too bad. That's 2, I need to do this 20 times. Don't worry, I'm not going to take you through the whole thing. Just wanted to show you what I'm doing to get started. And on that point, I've been doing this, so I have to do all those things 3 times a day, apart from the kicks, which I do 2 times a day. And it is a pain in the ass. I don't enjoy it, and I'm not really feeling the benefits, but I've just put the faith in the physio. And there might be other things that you might feel as well, like exercise, meditation, or affirmations, or whatever we go on to. And I'll just encourage you just to keep with it. One way that I've been able to not miss a session, and now it's going to be 3 weeks tomorrow, is that I pencil it in to my schedule. So I actually put it in on my diary, and also this comes through on the phone, so it actually pops up and says physio now. It's like, oh shit, yeah, physio. So I just get through it. It takes about 20 minutes to do, but it's, again, for this, I suppose although I'm not finding the benefit of it, most things that you will do, and what if this did, if it did really help my side, so then it would be totally worth it. So a way to commit and make self-discipline easier for yourself is to pencil in, schedule everything, and then you want to fulfill it. And then once you start fulfilling it, you have the next philosophy, which is don't break the chain. So you're linking these things together, and you've done 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row. And very much like the morning routine that I've got now, which is number 50, when you get to number 9, you want to hit number 10, and then you want to work on, and I don't want to miss a day, because I want to keep that link to my goal of getting 100 days. So I just thought I'd share that as well. I'm going to finish off these right now. Okay, the physio is now done. I'm going to jump up into the shower and get myself sorted and dressed for the day. Then I'm going to move on to my first segment of the morning routine, or second after walking, which is going to be meditation. For some of you, I was actually thinking, is this boring as shit, people watching me do like talking about it now rather than just getting on with it? I don't know. Most of my videos I come on and I just talk about something and then turn it off, but I thought it'd be a little bit different just to show you, around the house a little bit, walking around and getting a sense of what I do. So sorry if it's a little bit longer, but I thought I would just give an insight instead. So let me know if you prefer that in the comments below, or if you'd like me just to get to the bloody point. So right, close off. I will see you very shortly. Hey everyone, I'm showered and ready to take on the day. So the next section is for meditation. And for a lot of people this might be a difficult one to get over. I know I was initially skeptic about it, but I've been on a mindfulness course several years ago just to kind of try this out and see what the benefits are like, and I was blown away by it. So I've been lucky enough, I've been practicing it for a while, and I really enjoy it. But like most things in life, it's just worth trying. Just give it a go. And in its most simple form, it's a case of just being with yourself
you will notice that when you sit in silence, your brain will start to wander everywhere. And that's okay, that's totally normal. If it didn't, that would be a bit odd, to be honest, unless you were like a monk or something. So that your brain is wired just to be thinking everywhere. And when you notice yourself think, oh, I've got this to do, I've got, oh yeah, I've got to put the garbage out, I've got this to do, then bring yourself back in. The goal is awareness of when your mind starts to wander, and when it does, bring it back in. And one simple way to do that, to get you started, is just to focus on your breath. So when you're sitting there, back straight, don't lean on anything, don't lean back, go to the front of your chair. And the reason for that is that you're going to collapse, and it's not good for your spine anyway to sit like that. I've done a video on it, but you need to be upright and present. You need to be with it. And again, lying down, you can do that. The danger is that you may fall asleep. So if you sit up front and think of graceful posture and elegance as you're sitting forward, to try and keep that in your mind, but you want to be somewhat relaxed, and you just close your eyes. Make sure you're breathing from the belly as well. Most people will breathe here from the chest, and if you breathe through your nose, it will help you. So breathe through your nose right now, your belly will expand. That's where we want to be breathing from. And don't try and control it. You don't need to do anything, just focus on it. If you focus, it's getting quicker as you're focusing on it, that's fine. Just let it just be, and sit with it, and just sit in silence. Now from my end, I don't time it. It's usually at least 10 minutes, can go on to around 20 minutes. For those of you that think, I haven't got time to meditate, then you need to do an hour. So the more you don't think you need meditation, or the more you haven't got time for meditation, the more that you need it. Actually, if you'll feel like, yeah, I'm open to meditation, you probably don't need to have as much. You can put it into part of your walking as well. When you're walking around, you just be present, be in the moment. Whatever you're doing, experience that. And when your mind is flowing away, think of other things and what you're doing through today. Just, your goal is just that awareness to catch yourself thinking about those things and this inner self-talk. Just bring yourself back to the task at hand and what you're doing, and just focus on that and just let it be. I promise you, if you just do this for 10 minutes, just to start with, 10, ideally if you can push up to 15, 20 minutes, you're going to feel unbelievable. And like most things, meditation isn't something like exercising once a week isn't going to do you much good at all. This is a daily practice. This is like eating right. This is like your goals. This is right up there. This is a very important thing. Meditation is a daily practice, at least once a day. Everyone can afford 10 minutes a day, and if you don't think you can, you really, really need meditation. So I'm just going to, before I just go on to this, I'm not going to actually show you what I do, but which is sit here in silence. But if you're unsure, just go into YouTube, and if you put guided meditations, you'll have someone speaking over, and they will talk you through how you can think about your body. So they'll say things like, okay, start, I want you to focus on your big toe and your left toe, and now I want you to work through into your ankle. So you're just thinking about your body, and they're giving you prompts to think about. That cancels out or minimizes some of the mind wandering because you're focusing on something. So if you're finding it hard just to sit in silence and focus on your breath, try a guided meditation. I'd recommend at least 10 minutes, and go onto YouTube, put 10-minute guided meditation, try a couple out, see what voice you like, and just sit there and listen through it and see how you feel. Try different things. There are loads of different methods to meditation. People can focus on candles, or there's mantras, or self-love and gratitude, all these different things. Don't worry about that. Just focus on being with yourself and no other distractions. And when you're distracted, bring yourself back in. So good luck with it. I'm going to crack on with mine now, and I'll catch you very shortly. Okay. Okay, I've just finished my meditation. As you see, I'm pretty chilled, and I almost dropped the phone. I'm now going to go downstairs and get my coffee sorted, move on to the next stage, which is going to be reading. You can put these in whatever order you like. I like to move my body first, then when I come back in to do some meditation, just calm myself back down again. I really enjoy reading with a cup of coffee and off the back of meditation. It just helps me kind of get back into it as well. I'm just going to lose myself in the book. So I'm going to get the coffee prepped, bring the book out, and I'll join you shortly. Okay, I've got my coffee now. So you can see here, that's not the camera, that is a massive mug. I drink black coffee. I do intermittent fasting, so I don't, long and short is I don't have breakfast. So I have 2 large cups of black coffee in the morning, spread out over a few hours before I go on and hit then 2 substantial meals. If I'm weight training, I'd normally train then in between those 2 meals when I've got fed and I've got energy to work out. But for those of you, I worked it out. You can't have an exact calculation for caffeine, but I have about 400 milligrams a day, which I believe is under the recommended dosage, and I don't have any caffeine in the afternoon. But back to the next stage, which is reading, and for me at the moment I'm working on an absolute beast. It is, you can see that there, Charlie Munger is one of my mentors, my heroes. This is the Poor Charlie's Almanac, expanded 3rd edition, The Wit and Wisdom of Charlie Munger. And I think I've talked about this on the YouTube channel and blog before, but he's renowned as having one of the most broadest levels of intelligence in the world. So you can talk about any topic in great detail with Charlie. He's very well read. He reads every single day and is a big advocate of it. This is his basically his life's work and what he's learned so far, and he's taken that on from I think it was Ben Franklin who was his hero, and he made a similar book. It was called Paul Richard's Almanac, and he grew up taking on a lot of Ben Franklin's ideologies, and he wanted to move in the same direction and be broadly intelligent, treat people right, all that type of stuff. So this book is a beast. This is like 500 odd pages, and I've got this from the States. It wasn't available here. The cheapest one I could find was like just over 50 quid. I think it's under 55 quid, so it costs a lot of money. Most I've ever spent on a book. But you know, you think 50 quid for a book, what are you doing? But I've come to learn when it comes to reading and like learning and education, this stuff is just totally worth it. 50 quid for a lot of people in the UK, that's a night out on the beers, or you have like some food or something. This is one of the the most intelligent men on the planet, and he's put a book of information of what he's felt learned. He's one of the richest men on the planet as well, one of the most happiest people on the planet, and he's sharing his wisdom. For 50 quid, I get to learn everything that he's learned. The hours, like he's in his, I don't know if he's in his I think he's in his 90s now. But you know, that amount of time of learning and educating himself and learning from all the people before him and putting together what he feels are the best of that, and I get to look at this every day. It's an absolute treat. So this book is hard to read for me. Maybe it's just me, but I mean, he's very articulate and he's an intelligent man, and I'm not ashamed to say I've had to look up some of the words that he uses because I don't understand what he's talking about. But it's one of those books that he says something and reread it again, it makes a little bit more sense. You read it like, oh my god, or he'll mention the point later on throughout the book, and then it'll really resonate. This is one of those books I'm going to cherish. I want to go through the whole thing back to front, or sorry, front to back, and then I'll just start picking apart different elements and dipping back in. But yeah, from my read so far, I highly recommend it. I'll do a proper review on it later down the road, but I've got to finish it first. So reading wise, back on track for morning routine. I read for at least half an hour, and I don't set a time for it. I think that's the luxury that I have, I suppose, that I just go with the flow. if I finish a chapter and it's 25 minutes and I'm feeling good and I've learned a really good point, I'll make some notes, move on. Alternatively, if I'm in the middle of a chapter really captivated by something, or it's not quite making sense, it's like basketball players that leave the court on making a basket. I want to leave it on a high, so I'll wrap it up with either the end of the page or a chapter. And at times I have actually gone an hour and a quarter, an hour and 20 minutes reading, because I've just been so enthralled with something and I think it's relevant and I'm enjoying it, so fucking screw it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do what I want. Yeah, I end up reading at least half an hour, maybe more, like 45 minutes every single day. If you don't have the time for that, and I appreciate that at work, I didn't either, then just commit to reading for 10 minutes or reading 10 pages every day. That's it. You might, when you come to the stage of actually reading, feel a little bit like, I don't want to do this, or I felt like I haven't got time, I've got stuff to do. Make the time. The stuff that I'm learning in this book is life-changing, and it's intelligence that you can pick up in other areas and use in other areas of your life, in coaching, in your work, day-to-day job, in relationships, and everything else that you do. So don't think this isn't important. Reading is one of the most important things in the world, and if you don't have the time, A, make it, or B, just to commit to doing 10 minutes or 10 pages. But that's enough for me. My coffee's going cold and I've got some reading to do. See you in the next one. Okay, it's about, I think it was just over 30 minutes it took for me to finish off that chapter, and I just wanted to share with you a couple of the learning points. I always try and take something away if I can. I want to use every day to learn something, if I can, and go to bed a little bit wiser than I was the day before. And then that, I believe, will count out, like most things. If you're a little bit fitter, a little bit more calm, or you've worked on a relationship, over time that makes a massive difference. The chapter that I read was quite heavy going. It was, he did this fictitious account of this pretend company in 2000 about, it was about kind of accountancy fraud, and how he tried to show how this company went down the path of trying to make more money and be fraudulent with their stock options. And he's saying how it is essentially fraud, and how a lot of companies were doing that at the time. And in 2003, as he predicted, as the date it happened, I think just before that, we had a huge recession, which is along the ideas of what he was suggesting would happen. There are a couple of points I wanted to share, and one of the summaries he put in this, I just want to share with you. What this accounting saga constitutes is one more sad example of evil rewarded dying hard, as a great many people conclude that something can't be evil if they are profiting from it. And there's a little quote from Plato: pleasure is the greatest incentive to evil. So throughout this book, Charlie Munger is of the opinion that being moral, being honest, and doing things right is the way to live your life. People won't live a happy existence, and if they get away with bad, immoral behaviour, in the end it catches up with you. And if you get away with it, then you'll continue to go down that path. You'll justify it to yourself and to others, and you'll potentially push the boat out and try something else, and then try something else, whilst taking the opposite route and just doing everything legit. And that goes for Kindle publishing, in your relationships, and being true to yourself. It all makes a difference. So truly believe what he says with that. It's quite a simple thing, but it's huge. There was one, he's got this, let me just show you. Throughout the book, he focuses on sometimes certain key people in history and gives them some facts and some quotes. That's famed economist John Galbraith, and he's got a little quote: "We all agree that pessimism is the mark of superior intellect." And he goes on, and he's captured some of his favourite quotes. But there's one, there's also like a little story here, a little parable type of thing, and I just want to read this out because this is pretty cool as well. So bear with me. Seeking to teach his young charge a lesson in the power of compounding, a teacher made an intriguing offer. "I will give you one of the following, but you cannot change your mind later, so think carefully before you decide." Play along. "I will give you $1,000 per day for 30 days that you can begin spending immediately.
Alternatively, I'll give you a penny on day 1, double it on day 2, double the resulting sum again on day 3, and continue doubling your holdings every day for 30 days. But you may not spend a single penny, a single cent, until the 30th day has passed. The young charge and enticed by the prospect of spending $1,000 per day for a month, compared to what he believed would just be a few pennies jingling around in his pockets a month from now, chose the $1,000 a day. And did he choose wisely? Those of you that know anything about compound interest, that was a bad move. If you're compounding something 30 times, the result is unbelievable. And the result from 25 to 30 as well, if you have a look at the individual numbers, will be insane. They don't share that, but these were the results. So under the first choice, the young man would receive a total of $30,000. Under the second choice, the power of compounding would run the total to 5.368 million, compared to 30 grand if you had waited. So a nice little reminder of the interest of the benefit of compound interest. And I'm going to turn this around and make it relevant to Kindle publishing as well. I deal with people that I'm trying to teach them to do the right route off the back of Charlie Munger and invest in themselves for the long term. But I know there are a lot of people doing it for the quick buck and the quick turnaround, and they're seeing other people do that. So therefore, social proof, it's what, if they're doing it, why can't I? And I put to you, be better than that. Put the time in, take the route of delayed gratification, do it right, and let's see how their books are doing in 6 months time, and in 12 months time, and actually 6 years time. Compared to some of my books, let's see how they're doing in a year. Now, okay, my sales might not be as high for 2 weeks, whilst they're doing their little manipulations, but in 6 months time and 6 years time, my books, my paperbacks, and my ACX, my audios will still be bringing in passive income. So that's a nice little story that I wanted to share with you and on my thoughts. I might be wrong, but that's the route that I'm going to go down, and I'm happy and more content doing that. So once I've finished my reading, I'm now going to move on to my next stage and bring the computer on. So I'm going to stick the computer on, and I'll be with you in 2. Next section I move on to, once my computer is up and running, is Affirmations and Incantations. And I do both. I change it up, but I just want to show you both just so you can see what I do. The first one I've got here, I'm just going to flip that around, is my affirmations. So I've written them all out here. I don't know if you can see that, you probably can't, so I'll just read it out. But okay, so at the top I've got my main goals. I've put 3 that I really want to focus on. The first one being, and this is what you need to read this out loud and really feel it and then take it on. So the first one I read out is, I will easily earn £100,000 in income by the 31st of December 2016. Number 2, I will easily create and launch 3 online courses that help people by the 31st of December 2016. Number 3, I will easily help 5 people quit their day jobs by the 31st of December 2016. So these are the 3 that are really important to me that I want to focus on. So I've just put my top goals there, and then I work through, I've got my purpose, working towards financial independence, being authentic. So just to read out my purpose, just to give you an idea, I've taken this from different segments and from the Miracle Morning, and also then adapted it to my own life. But I've put here that my purpose is to sincerely love and add value to the lives of others, which starts with achieving everything I want in my own life and never settling for anything less than I can be, do, or have. To be an example to others on how to live with purpose, meaning, and humour. I can then give back to others and help them achieve everything they want in their lives. And I just then go throughout this talking about the lifestyle that I want. So those are affirmations. Now, I was skeptical of doing this to start with, and I just thought one day, why not give it a try? Napoleon Hill was a big advocate of it, and I don't want to judge something unless I've tried it. So even if I do think it's a little bit weird. So I committed to doing it for a month and just reading this out every single morning, and you just notice a difference. Even genuinely from reading that then, it just gives you, it kind of charges you up. And you know what, if you're not convinced, I've got a challenge for you. Do the opposite and prove me wrong. So every morning, wake up, whatever you do, and say, I hate myself, I'm unattractive, I'll never amount to anything, everyone hates me, I'm an absolute failure and a loser, I'm going to lose all my money, I will never get that promotion, I will never achieve my goals, I'm fat and overweight, let me accept that now. And reel off a paragraph of the shittest life you can imagine. Now say that every single day for a week or a month, and really truly believe that, and when you're saying it, say it with passion. So I'm an absolute loser, I am, and see how that makes you feel. Now, anyone that I've put this to, so when I talk about affirmations, people go, it's a bit weird. Well, people think it's weird because it's a little bit hoo-ha, and does that really work? So, try it the other way. If you really think, I wouldn't do it. I would not do that at all. If you try it the other way, it does genuinely make you feel good. So when you're talking about how you're happy, how you're healthy, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to become, it makes you feel so much better. So let me read another paragraph out, which this might be helpful for some of you as well. So this is a section on overcoming fear and worry, because we all have that, and you can slot in what you want. And there are times where I'm in uncharted territory, and I remind myself of this every day. So fear and worry are a misuse of my intelligence and imagination. Only think positive, self-affirming and confidence-inspiring thoughts. If I'm to use my imagination, only use it to imagine myself doing something great. There is literally nothing to fear or worry about, because I cannot fail, only learn and grow. I've got a little motivational quote then below, which I put in between. There is one quality that one must possess to win, and that is the definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. And I move on. And honestly, I feel when I read that, that makes me feel great. And it just, you are prepping yourself and giving yourself good positive vibes and messages. You might well have heard of people say, the person that you are will reflect the five people that you spend the most time with. This is one of my friends. A computer. Yeah, I'm a loser, I know. But if I'm just dousing myself with kind of Ty Lopez, Charlie Munger, Hal Elrod, people like this, motivational people that are feeding my brain with good stuff, I'm reading healthy, positive stuff, then you get into that mindset. If you're hanging around with people at work and they bitch and moan about it, the chances about work and their life and how shit stuff is and how they're unlucky or whatever, it's everyone else's fault, not theirs, you will start to take on those beliefs, whether you want to or not. It will start edging in. And just flip that around. Hang out with positive people that are going to, go-getters, going to get shit done. Read and listen to stuff which is enticing. Don't turn the news off. Don't watch or listen to the news. It's all blaming. It's a horrible negative culture. It is not healthy for anyone to read the news or listen to the news. Read educational, uplifting, fun things that are going to benefit your life, and you'll notice a massive difference. So those are affirmations. You're reading out statements and getting into a certain mindset. Incantations, sorry, I'm just realizing this time is like really cracking on now, so I'm sorry about this, guys, and thank you for staying with me. Incantations is slightly different. You're saying a simple statement and you're actually feeling it immediately. There's more kind of emotion behind it. I got this from Stefan Pylarinos. He's got his Morning Mastery course, which I thought was really good, so I'd recommend that for those of you who haven't tried it. I'm sorry, I don't know how much it is. It's around $30 or something, I think. Might have gone up now. I'll just read a couple of statements so you know what you're saying, what I'm talking about. So, I eat to fuel my body, not to satisfy an appetite. Nothing tastes as good as being healthy and fit feels. I will improve 1% each day and give myself pleasure for tiny progress. And you're kind of telling yourself how you're going to feel. The smallest action can make a difference. I am energetic, I am charismatic, I make positive, healthy choices. I have unstoppable energy every day. I love myself for who I am. Now, I'll be honest, when I was reading this stuff for the very first time, I was like, this is a bit woohoo, but once again, try it, it makes me feel good, and I try and finish on a high as well. And my life is a series of successful choices. I live in the present and I live extremely well. I live to free people from concern. The effect I have on others is the biggest currency I earn. Nothing keeps me from achieving my goals and living an amazing life. Boom. And I finish it there and move on to the next part, which is going to be my visualization. So I'll see you very shortly. I'm just bringing up the stuff for visualization now, but just before I go, I wanted to go back to the incantations and affirmations, because I don't think I've really left it on a good job for those of you that have got 9 to 5s and are short on time. So maybe just write down your goals. That might just be it, and a simple goal of what you're going to do, and structure the sentence where you're going to do it easily or effortlessly, or it's done. That is taken care of. So whatever your goal is, and hopefully you've put the bar up high, state your goals in a positive sentence of you achieving it, and put the date down and read that every single day. On top of that, other things you're working on, if it's losing weight, so I will exercise every day effortlessly, and I will enjoy it, and I'm I don't know, I'm kind of, you can think of statements to put down, but just keep it really short and sweet, maybe 3 to 5, and that can be it. So I wanted to just give you a little idea on what you can implement if you're short on time, but this is well worth it. Okay, on to visualization. This is something that I've struggled on probably more than anything, and I've found something more recently which has really helped me, and that's actually music, and it's helping me getting to the mindset of taking me away and thinking about the future. So the idea behind the visualization is very much, it's another way of absorbing what's already happened, and you are imagining living the life that you want. It's already done. One powerful way that I've tried to implement more recently is where you are your future self a year down the line. So I've already earned my £100,000 a year. I've already got my online courses out. I'm connecting with more people. I've got my blog out. I'm in great shape, and I am that person. I'm living that life, and what I'm doing, I can imagine myself doing that and walking around, and then pulling up into the house and coming in and talking to the me now, and giving myself that reassurance. So it's like my future self, who is awesome, of what I want to be, is coming to the hue of now and just saying, keep up the good work. You're doing everything. You're on track, and you're where you need to be. So that's a little technique that's really helped me, just embracing that and smiling it and really trying to live it. Just take yourself away. It is hard. Like it has taken me a while to come around to this, and one thing that I do is put some music on to help inspire. Now, you're going to find music that inspires you. I'm not going to tell you necessarily what to listen to, but there's a track here that really it gets me going. And to the extent that a couple of weeks back, when I put this on, I actually cried. I actually cried. I was listening to this and imagining being on stage doing a motivation chat, and then coming out to this music, and then having people stand up and applaud me coming in, and like being so thankful to be there. And I thought, like, I'm here, I'm living it, I'm impacting all of these people, and the music and everything got to me, and I just kind of like shed a tear. It was amazing. So for people to say that visualization doesn't work, from someone now that was a skeptic that's tried it, I can tell you that it absolutely does. Now, I use this music to get me started, and then I go into it. I maybe do it between 3 and 5 minutes. Some people I know will advocate doing a lot longer, but this is what works for me. It's just starting steady and just increasing it, improving it as you go along. So the music that I listen to is the band are called Alma, ALMA, and the track that I listen to is Cosmonaut. And I'm going to play it now, and I'm going to just stick this phone down. I don't know if this is going to rest here. Yeah, okay. Hopefully I won't cry, but I'm just going to listen to this music. I think it's quite cool for you to listen to this music too, because it's quite inspiring. I just close my eyes, get in meditation position, and see myself in the future. And I'll press play. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. What I normally do is let that go on until it goes into silence, and then I'll just sit and really feel it. But I feel absolutely amazing from that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I was like, I was smiling in some of that as well. Oh, I felt really happy, and I don't know if that came through. It might not have. And the thing I do as well, some of you may or may not be aware of this, but I do a vision board. So I put this on my, this is my ensuite bathroom. I've got pictures of just like a car and a house, and like someone in a smart suit looking good. Me with Love My Life Lou. I've got pictures of physiques that I want to look like, running my own gym, being a motivational speaker, having a family, having separate homes, holidays, having passive income, traveling, and being an investor, charity, learning new things. And it's all about feeling really good about those dreams, and a way of thinking about this stuff. Don't look at it and think it's out of your reach. I've got that. That's in my back pocket. You've got to have a burning desire to have all of it, but just to imagine that it's done. And there was a nice little exercise which may help you, which someone said about a check being cash. So from the finance side, imagine if someone gave you £1 million, and that is there. You've got £1 million, but the date for the check is for 3 years time. So you've got it, it's there, you can't spend that right now, you're going to have to wait 3 years, but it's going to happen. Okay, how would you feel about that? And if you sit and think about that, you would actually feel a lot nicer knowing that's coming in. Well, that's just a mindset. You still have to live for the next 3 years. So if you embody this stuff, and like I've heard Will Smith put this in a video as well, just that, like, if he thinks he's going to have to do something, he's like, it's already done, it's done and dusted, we just need to get up and go through the motions of actually doing it. And I'm just trying to adopt that stuff. This is already in the bank, I've got all of it, and it's just a case of moving towards it. So from the visualization side, guys, if you just want to maybe create a board, put some images of stuff that you want, maybe it's physique, maybe it's a number, maybe it's a house or car that you want, and then sit in with your eyes closed, put some motivational music on, some inspiring music, and imagine you actually having all of that stuff in your life. And you know what? Does it happen? Is it going to result? Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I've quit my job, within 7 months of trying something out. So I'd say there's something working in that. But you know what? I feel great from it. I feel good, and I know this is going to happen. And I think deep down it's a healthy process to have. So the proof is in the pudding, but I'm much happier for doing it rather than not. So that's visualization, and I'm definitely not an expert. That's the area I'm probably learning to do better in than most of the others. But I'm now going to move on to the next section. So bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, next in line is journaling, scribing, writing of some sort. What I do, I've got my little notepad here, and I follow the 5-minute journal. Now, you can call me a cheapskate, you can call me a fraud, or whatever you like, but I went to buy the 5-minute journal and looked at the shipping cost of it, and it was an absolute joke, just for essentially asking similar prompted questions. So what I did, I looked inside of it, and I was sold on the idea of it. It was just the actual charge of it getting out, and I thought, in reality, I can just write those questions down in my own notebook and do that. So that's what I do. Alex Icon, I'm sorry, but this is a process that I now implement. So I am using a 5-minute journal. I recommend it, and it's just because I don't live in the States, and the money, I don't think it's worth the shipping cost personally. But I've taken on your format, and I thank you for the work you've done. Okay, so what is the 5-minute journal? It's a way of journaling just 5 minutes a day, 3 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the evening. That's the very minimum that I do. Sometimes I will write other points which I want to come on to in a minute. But the first part of it is, what are you grateful for? And it actually states, so I'll actually write out here today's date. All right. I am grateful for, and then you've got 3 lines to put it in. I'll make sure that it doesn't, in my little notepad here, I don't go over 2 lines, and I'm just going to go to a random and see what I've written before. Okay, so I'm grateful for, I put the mild winter weather. Okay, so for something like external, this can be anything. And when you notice gratitude in your life, it feels so, it feels great. And it was another thing that I was a little bit skeptical about, but if you start in harnessing gratitude and being thankful for everything in your life, every little thing, it makes you feel so good about it. So yeah, I'm thankful for the mild winter weather. This is in December. I've just flipped to now. We don't have extreme weathers where it kind of the whole world comes to a standstill. It was just nice and mild. It was chilly, but it was fine, and I was really thankful for that because it was beautiful and it didn't impact my life. Next one was having a limitless resource of knowledge and information. So that's me really being on a reading high again, just knowing that with the internet and the books out there, all of this stuff is at my disposal, and it's just a case of reading through it. I feel so lucky to be at an age where I can do that. Number 3 was for being fit and healthy. So at the time, just being active and just thankful for being alive. You can do anything. I try and be grateful for the smallest things for my partner. For Lou appears in here most. That was one of the few that she doesn't. She usually appears in here, all the support of good people around me. So 3 things what you're grateful for, and keep it to a sentence. Next section is what would make today great. And again, it's 3 lines. So I try not just to focus on business. I'll do a bit of that, but it might be something else. So what would make today great for me? Now, I've got to finish up writing up one of my coaching sessions that I did with someone last night. So what would make today great is making sure that I tick that off the list and get that sent, because that's a priority with me working with my clients. So I want to make sure that I'm happy with that, what's going out. Number 2, what we on? We're on Thursday today, aren't we? So I'm trying to think what other tasks I've got to do. Might have mentioned this before, but I'm looking at working with bringing an individual into my organisation, and I need to sit down and hash out how I can do that, because I really have no clue at the moment. So I'm going to sit down, and what would make today great is starting my plan. So I'm not going to put it down, I have to finish my plan, because that then might be hard. I might not finish it, but if I just want to start it and get it down on paper, I might well finish it, and it's usually the start which is the sticking point. So that might be number 2. Number 3, what would make today great is having maybe I've got a coaching call tonight, so having a really I think might be on the coaching call, being open, honest and helpful with my coaching client. It might be to make sure, because I haven't got a lot of time with Lou tonight, that to be open, patient and loving and supportive to Lou when she's there. So that's putting something else for me to think about. What would make today great is maximizing the minimum time I have with Lou tonight. I don't know, you can make this up yourself. It might be to have a good workout or whatever. In the 5-minute journal, the next section is daily affirmation, and it starts with I am ... So you can take it on from the affirmations. This is something I actually stopped doing because I've already written my affirmations down, and I don't tend to do that section, but you're welcome to do that. So I am driven to succeed in this way today, or I am determined to make sure that I complete or start X, Y, and Z. I'm going to skip to tonight just so you guys know the 5-minute journal, but at the end of your day, I usually do this before I go to bed. The 4th section is write 3 amazing things that happened today, and that they are sometimes connected with what would work great, and then there are the inevitable things that pop up in life. So after your 3 short points, I go on to the 5th and final section, which was how could I have made today better. So you're focusing on the things that went well with gratitude, and then focusing on some areas, however many you have, which could have improved the day. Now I take that a little step further and add a little bit more. So I don't just put what would have made the day better, because sometimes I should have been a little bit more focused, or I should have tried a little bit harder on this, or I could have been a little bit more patient with Lou. I put down what were my problems and potential solutions. So I phrase it just differently. So what problems did I come up with today? And I'll put that on myself as well, not just pointing the finger. So I wasn't focused today, and I follow up what is my solution for that. So I wasn't focused today because I didn't sleep well. I felt procrastination coming in. I think that might have been because I had loads of carbs and I felt lazy. My solution to that is to make sure I'm getting my 8 hours and eating more healthily, or being more mindful of how I'm responding to people, or X, Y, and Z. And just putting pen to paper increases the likelihood that you're going to be taking on those actions moving forward, and it's more ingrained in your head, and I've noticed a big difference with that. So rather than saying how could have today been better, I could have focused more, well, what was your problem, and how what is your solution to that? So okay, I'm just reading this now thinking, how could I make today better? That might be your solution behind that, but make sure you are putting the reason there. What else do I make a point of? So there are 2 other bits. One point is learning, and I'll just put my learning points for today. What have I brought out of today? And that can be anything. Sometimes I don't fill it in, and sometimes I'll have like a whole page or a couple of pages worth of stuff, learning points that I come in that I found on that day. On my weekly review, once a week, I flick back for the last 7 days and pick out my learning points of what I've picked up. And I make sure when I do my 5-minute journal, I'm also having a look at yesterday's to see learning points, what went well, what didn't, to see if it can jog my memory and enhance it for the day I'm in now. After learning points, my final section, which I've included, is tomorrow will be great because ... And that just kickstarts the day for your morning routine. So what did I put last night? I will record my morning routine, which is what I'm doing today. I'm going to plan I'm not going to use a person's name, but someone coming into my business. I'm going to finish my my coaching session notes, and I'm going to work for 3 hours at least on my course today. So those are the points I'm going to put in. When I get to scheduling, I'll make sure that they're in there as well. I'm going to finish my journal now, and then I'll talk to you in the next one. So now that I've finished my journaling, I'm going to move on to the next stage, which is reviewing my weekly and daily goals, and then crossing over with that and putting it into my to scheduling the day. So I've got my goals set up. I've got that in a previous video that you can see. It's one of the first ones that I do actually, and I show you how I set up my goals. I have my annual goals, and I break that down to 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, and then in the one monthly ones I set up my week every single week at my weekly review of how I'm going to work towards that. So check the video out to go into more detail, but I did my review on the weekend, so I've set up for myself what I want to do this week, which I'm going to bring up now. And I'm just going to cast my eye over the goals I want to hit this week and see if I can input that in. Now, and sometimes when I'm looking at this, which I think today might be the case, because of this, it's recording this, it's actually slowing me down, the whole production of this morning. So I've got quite a packed day as it is, so I'm probably not going to be inputting much from my weekly goals on top of the actions that I've already talked about in the journaling what I want to do today. However, I make it part of my morning routine to look at my goals every day. There might be something I've overlooked which is actually more important than what I've stated already. So again, just getting into the good habit of checking your weekly goals, what needs to be done, I think is healthy moving forward. So I'm just loading that up now. I'll then look through the weekly actions. So I'll look at the body, what I need to do. Okay, I need to make sure I'm doing my physio 3 times a day. Yeah, I'm doing that. Making sure I'm walking every single day. Yes, I'm doing that. Move on to the next section, and so on and so forth. Then what I do, which I'll show you on my calendar, I use a simple Google Calendar, and I'm just going to flip this around just to show you. So no, the camera's probably not picking up, it's great, but those are blocks there that you can see, and God, I am so shit with this. I think you get the idea. So I try and block every little portion of my time, and if it's not on the schedule, it doesn't get done. I just stick everything in, and for today I can see I've penciled it in. I've got my physio to start with. I've then got 2 hours for my morning routine between 7 and 9. Don't always keep it 7 to 9. Sometimes it's 6:30 till 8:30 or 6:30 until 10. If it's like a massive one, it might be 9 until 11 some days. It doesn't make a difference. But after my morning routine, when I've done that, I then move on to my one thing from the book Gary Keller, which I think I've posted my book review on that as well. And you want to hit the most important tasks early for 4 hours every single day. So whilst I'm motivated, I'll get stuck into that. Again, trying to make it relevant for you guys, so you still have time to look at your goals every single day and put that in. It shouldn't take too long, and make sure you haven't got too many, and keep it to maybe 2 to 5 max if you don't have the time, to make sure you're really focusing on the most important ones. With regards to the working on your one thing, you might want to do your morning routine in about 15 to 30 minutes and then focus on your thing, whether it's Kindle publishing, whether it's, God knows, I don't know, match betting, or you're writing a book or something else. So my one thing for 4 hours, schedule in from 9 till 1, and then I'll make sure I complete the 4 hours. Lunch will sometimes come in between that, and that's absolutely fine. I'll just make sure I'm sticking to 4 hours of the most important thing in my life, which at the moment is my online course. After that, I've got my schedule in my lunch. I even schedule in breaks, make sure you're doing that. And I've put in here the physio that I need to do at lunchtime, which is 2 out of the 3 exercises I showed you today. This afternoon is free up until the evening meal, so this is when I'll start sticking it in. So if I need to amend my morning, the one thing off the back of my morning routine, this is when I'll do that. So if it's at 10 o'clock, I'll make sure I'm putting an hour in this afternoon after my lunch hour to complete my 4 hours of the one thing. Then I'll start sticking in slots of time for the other work that I have to do in a priority order. So I just stick all the tasks that I have to do down, write them down, and then list them in the order that I want to do them. So what's the most important one after my one thing, or away from my one thing? I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then start the first one, work until it's done, move on to number 2, and continue. Back to my schedule. After dinner, I've got my physio, which is back to doing the 3 exercises that you saw this morning. And then I've got coaching at 7 o'clock, and that will take me through, it's supposed to be an hour, and it's rarely an hour. So I always pencil in at least an hour and a half, but sometimes it can go on to 2 hours, which will take me to around 9 o'clock. Then I'm done and dusted. So that's me scheduling my day. I schedule my whole week, so things like running, physio, they're automatically in there. I schedule those for every single day, and morning routine every single day for blocking out those times. My weekly review is on a Saturday morning after my morning routine. And just so you know, the one thing, I don't work on that on the weekends. I make sure I have a break from it. So I'll do my morning routine followed by my weekly review, which is then the most important thing. So that's scheduled in every single Saturday for the same time. So Google's free, it's easy to do. There are other things out there, so if you've got a platform that you'd prefer to do on app, then crack on with that. But that's it for scheduling. So that wraps this whole video up as far as the morning routine. I'm sorry if it's gone on a little bit, and thanks for those of you that kind of stayed with me on it. I'd love to get your thoughts on how you found this morning routine. Do you like what I've done? Any questions about what I do? Any thoughts? Anything that maybe I haven't implemented that you do that brings you a lot of benefit as well? If so, leave it in the comments below, because I'll check out every single comment that you guys write. At the moment, because I haven't got a massive following, I'm able to read and reply to every single comment that I get. So if you've got any general questions on the morning routine, I openly encourage you to get in contact with me, and I'll do my best to help you out with it. Today's video, I wanted it to be in detail. I haven't done a YouTube video like this until I left my 9-to-5 job. So I wanted to make this a little bit more detailed and give you a little bit more of me. I hope that's of interest to some of you. I hope that this is a platform for you to kind of make your own thing. Don't necessarily, copy me 100%. I mean, you're welcome to. You can take all of it, but make it your own. Change it up. Put more time into something else and less time into other things. It just make it fit your schedule. And everyone should have a morning routine, even if it's a case of hydration, movement, meditation, reading, work. Whatever it is, make it your own. The more you can put into developing yourself, the more that you'll get out of it. I'm sorry, but the 9-to-5 is not an excuse. Get up an hour earlier and make sure you give this time to yourself, because it's totally worth it. So I just want to run through what I've done, and I've got a little section that I put up here to remind me, although I don't really use it, but I'm using it to remind myself to read it out for you now. So to start with, hydration. So I finish off a pint of water, which has usually got lemon in it, and then I have another glass of super green. It's a super green mix which contains wheatgrass, so you can pick that pretty cheaply, but if you want to do it on a budget, water or with a little bit of lemon in it is perfect. Next one, move. So whether that's press ups, sit ups, jumping jacks in the morning, going for a walk or a run, or doing a weight session if that's the time to do that. Next I move on to meditation. So I will sit down for 10 minutes. I encourage you to do at least 10, because meditation is really, really important. One of the most important things in this. After that, I do my reading. So if you're stuck for time, look for 2 to 10 pages. Just get into the habit of doing it. Chip away at reading information and feeding knowledge into your brain. The next step is incantations and affirmations. That might just be a case of goals. So write out a statement that you've already achieved your goals, and maybe a mindset that you want to be confident, or you want to back yourself more in another area, or you're fit and healthy. So whatever you really want in life, prioritize that, make a statement of it, positively phrased, and read that out every single day. Next, move on to visualization. Just sit in an upright stance and close your eyes. Maybe play some music if you want. Be inspired. Like, think about actually experiencing being in that amazing place that you want to be, and believe it's like our success is all in our mind with confidence. So visualization, I have overlooked it, and now I'll never overlook it because it's very powerful. So just get into the habit of just trying it out, just being with yourself and imagining and living all those things that you want, and see how you feel off the back of that. After the visualization, we move on to journaling. So you can follow the 5-minute journal. You can buy that yourself if you like, if you're not a type 1 like me, or you can copy the approach that I've done, or alternatively, you can just write stuff. You can just write how you feel, what's on your mind, what you're going to get out of today. Pen to paper is really, really important. Next, we move on to reviewing your goals. So what do you want to get out of today? I use my weekly review as a starting point and make sure that I'm chipping away every single day and working on certain aspects of my life. Then I'll schedule my day, make my structure, and I then get bloody cracking. So that's it. I hope this has been useful. I think actually one thing I would say, I've gone through everything that I do. Extra resources, so this doesn't cost you nothing apart from your bloody life and your time, but I've talked about my book. It's up there, so right there, The Miracle Morning. You can get that for less than a tenner. Also, if you want to take it another notch, Stefan's course, I don't know how much it is, I'll drop a link in it below, and I found that very useful. He made me think of some other things as well that weren't in The Miracle Morning, but those are great resources, all this video. So give me a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Please let me know your thoughts and ask any questions if you've got any, and tell me about your miracle morning, and I will see you in the next one.